Hey, so today we are going to be doing adding and subtracting with decimals. I know that you have done this in the past. I just want to make sure that we review it so we remember how to do it. I do not want you using a calculator on this. You may use it to check your answers, but I want to make sure that I see all of your work. So please actually solve the problems on your own. Now when we add and subtract with decimals, we want to make sure we line up our decimal points to make sure that everything stays in line. This is very important because if you don't, you are very likely to mess up. One thing I always do is I always put my largest number on top. Now it says find the solution. That just means solve, and I'm going to circle my answer when I'm done so that I know that is my answer, not the other stuff that's on my work. So number one, I have three numbers I'm adding together. You can do this one in two ways. You can put all three numbers lined up and add them all together, or you can do two at a time. Putting them all together, you're more likely to mess up. So I'm going to do two at a time. So I'm going to start with these two. My 29.13 is bigger than 0.7, so 29.13 plus, I want to make sure I'm lining up my decimals, so put your decimal here. So I got 0.7. Now notice that it looks like there's something missing here. You can just put a 0 there because remember 0 is just a placeholder. So 3 plus 0 is 3, 1 plus 7 is 8. Bring down my decimal point. 9 plus 0 is 9, and 2 plus nothing is 2. Notice that I had all my numbers lined up pretty well. I want to see that on your homework. And then I also lined up my decimals. So I did my 29.13, I did my 0.7. I can't forget to add in my 309.1. Since that is bigger than 29.83, I'm going to put that on top. And then line up the decimals. And again, I have something missing up here, so I'm just going to put a 0 as a placeholder. So 0 plus 3 is 3, 1 plus 8 is 9. Bring down my decimal point. 9 plus 9 is 18, carry my 1. 1 plus 0 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus nothing is 3. So I add all my numbers, so 338.93 should be my answer, and again, you can check that with a calculator after you're done. Moving on to number two, it's very similar. Again, I'm going to do two at a time, so I'm just going to start with these two. 349.7 is bigger, so I'm going to put that on top. 2.3, line up the decimals. Here I didn't need to add any placeholders because I only had one number on the right, so that worked out pretty well. 7 plus 3 is 0, carry the 1, bring down my decimal point. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 4 plus 1 is 5. 3 plus nothing is 3. So again, I did the first two. Now I need to add in my 0.78. Okay, so again, we need a placeholder, so put that in there. And this one's pretty easy to add because of all the zeros. So our final answer should be 352.78. If you want to mark off your numbers like I did to make sure you got them all, you're more than welcome to. Number three, we're just adding money together, and it's only two numbers, so that makes it a little easier. This first number is bigger, so I'm going to put that on top. 207.43 plus 198.97. 3 plus 7 is 10, carry the 1. 9 plus 4 plus 1 is going to give me 14. 4, carry the 1, bring down my decimal. And then 7 plus 1 plus 8 is 16. 6, carry the 1. And 9 plus 0 plus 1 is 10. And 2 plus 1 is 4. Now, notice I didn't put my money sign by my work. That's fine, but since our number started as money, we want to leave it as money. So put a dollar sign on there and circle it. Number four, notice this is subtraction. Now we still want to make sure that our bigger number is on top. So we're going to do 897.23 minus 790.1. And again, you can put a 0 there as a placeholder. 3 minus 0 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. Bring down my decimal. 7 minus 0 is 7. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 8 minus 7 is 1. So that's my answer, pretty simple. Now I want to look at another example, very, very similar, but I'm going to switch these numbers. So what if it was 790.1 minus 897.23? Now, if we were to just put this in the calculator, we would get a negative answer. That's correct because we are taking more away from the original amount than what we actually have. So if we had like $790.10 and we wanted to buy something that's $897.23, we obviously don't have enough money. So that's where the negative comes in. You would be in debt if you were to do that. Now, like I said, I still want to keep my bigger number on top just to make things easier on me. So the problem looks exactly the same. I'm still going to get 107.13. But since, like I said, I took a larger amount away than when I started, it's going to be a negative 107.13. So make sure when you are doing these types of problems, you are looking for that, making sure you don't need a negative sign. Okay, got 2 more left. Number 5, notice we have these parentheses. We are going to talk about this a little bit later, but we always do parentheses first. It's our order of operations. And you should have done stuff with that in the 6th grade. So since we are going to do parentheses first, we're going to do this 127 minus 38 before I do anything that's 293. So I need to take away from that 2. So 17 minus 8 is 9. And then I have 1 minus 3, can't do that. So bring a 1 over. 11 minus 3 is 8. So I'm left with 89. So this whole thing in parentheses is equal to 89. So if I were to rewrite this problem, I had 293 plus what was in parentheses, which was 89. So now my problem becomes 293 plus 89, and I wrote a 3. I like to do all my work top to bottom, so I'm going to rewrite this like this. 3 plus 9 is 12, so 2 carry the 1. 9 plus 1 plus 8 is 18, and 2 plus 1 is 3. I took care of all my numbers. I did parentheses, I did this 293, so this is my final answer, 382. So if you have a problem like this, don't just go, bam, 293 plus 127 equals whatever, and then minus 38. You are not going to get the correct answer. So make sure that you always do parentheses first. Number 6, very, very similar, but now our parentheses are first anyway, so we could have just added them like normal. But let's just make sure we do this first. 87.2 plus 1.29. Put a 0 for my placeholder. 0 plus 9 is 9. 2 plus 2 is 4. Bring down my decimal. 7 plus 1 is 8. And 8 plus nothing is 8. So now my problem becomes what was in parentheses, which was 88.49 plus the 0.4. Now, some of you could do this in your head, but I'm going to actually write it out like I have been. And I want to make sure that you do this on your homework as well. Don't just do everything in your head. So 9 plus 0 is 9, 4 plus 4 is 8. Bring down the decimal. 8 plus 0 is 8, and 8 plus nothing is 8. So my final answer is 88.89. So hope that wasn't too hard. It should have been mostly review. If you need to rewatch it, go ahead.